first is, I promise I have been reading. I'm just so terrible at recording these days, but I have been reading. I read 4 books between Feb and March. So now let's review why I actually feel like recording today. Right, so the first one we're going to review is Together Apart by Natalie. All right, so she's amazing when it comes to relationships, just her take on relationships, her understanding of how complicated relationships can be, but also not in a sense that everything is just going to fall apart and she's not going to bring it all together. She brings things together. So in this book, it's a couple that is going through things and whatnot. But what did we learn? We learned that things that we try, the secrets that we try to protect and we keep dear close to our hearts, or the pain rather, because it can just be pain, doesn't necessarily need to be a secret, that we try to protect and keep within is what hurts our tomorrow. So the things that we don't really deal with, the things that we choose not to speak about because we're too afraid that people will judge us, or that we're afraid that it's just going to hurt too much, it definitely will. The pain that you don't address when you're, the things that happen to you as a kid, they will address you when you're an adult. I like the saying. So it's the same thing with this one. One of the main characters has this huge secret, and it's holding her back from just living and being loved and receiving love and giving love and being free in life. So we should always try to address the pain that we are trying so hard to keep from others, and trying so hard to pretend like everything is okay. If you've got things that you need to address, try. I swear it's worked with me, for me in therapy especially, where you get to speak up a lot about things that are painful. As time goes, it starts getting better. That's where healing is at. The second book we are reviewing is Don't Cry For Me. My gosh, this one was so captivating. It was very painful to read at the same time, but also it was very eye-opening for me. It's by Daniel Black. It was my first time reading a book by him. It's a book by this dying father who's writing a letter to his son who he hadn't seen in years because they were estranged. The son just chose to live his own life because his father was one of those typical men who was too hard on him. And so when he finally went to university, he was like, okay, I'm done, bye. And then when his mom died, he had no reason to return back home. So he is writing to his son after understanding that he was a terrible father, but he's explaining that I did the things that I did because that's how I was raised as well. So sometimes the grace that we need to give our parents, but I'm not going to make it, to me, it wasn't more about him and his history. I'm sure it's going to help his son that, oh, okay, my dad did the things that he did because of this and this. But I think the most important thing here that we can learn is that whenever you do anyone wrong, like say we all do wrong things. You've hurt someone, you've said the wrong thing, you've done wrong things. The moment you realize that, flip, I actually hurt this person or I said the wrong thing, you should go back and apologize. Like, don't wait until, it's never too late also. And also don't wait until it's a long time. Like the moment you realize that, oh, I hurt my friend when I said this, or I might have been harsh. It might be the small thing, it might be a big thing, but people need us to say we are sorry so that they can be freed from whatever that is holding them back that we did to them. So whatever you did, I think he's doing his son such a huge favor, or just he's giving him a huge blessing by apologizing. His son is going to be, I'm sure when he reads this letter, because the father is about to die, so he's probably gonna come home, he's gonna be hurt that his father died, but he's going to be set free at the same time, that this person hurt me, I wasn't crazy, I wasn't making these things up, because sometimes it's just the thing of being gaslit. Like, was I saying things? What was going on? So the fact that he wrote him a letter and he explained everything, such a beautiful gift. You do someone wrong, you go back, you fix it. Full stop. You realize if the epiphany, just go back and fix it. Okay, and then the next one of my faves, I haven't read a book that made me so happy in a long time. The Hate U Give. Oh my gosh. I didn't know that they made it into a movie or something, or a series. I don't know. I'm still going to watch the series. But I learned that later on after reading the book, because I was doing a little bit of research on the book. I wanted to write a summary on it. So yeah, this one is amazing. We're not going to spoil it. It's just go and read this book. Read these 3 books actually. Go read Don't Cry For Me if you haven't read that one. The Hate U Give for sure, 5 stars. Don't Cry For Me, 5 stars. While there's so many things that I can talk about that the Hate U Give touched on, I want to just highlight one thing. The Hate U Give is by Angie Thomas, and I think she did such a great job. My biggest gripe about books that highlight issues that Black people are faced with every day is that sometimes they're too negative and they leave you feeling very low. So this one was such a balanced take on everything. It's like, yes, she's addressing the issues, but at the same time, she's giving you so much hope because of how she's portraying Black people in the book. It wasn't all dark. Like, yes, our issues are very heavy and they will be heavy for as long as we don't fight and we keep quiet. They will be. But I feel like a lot of people are trying nowadays, and everyone is trying their best to speak up wherever they are planted. But also, stories should be told in a way that leaves us uplifted and in a way that shows that Black people actually do have good lives. That it's not always just, you know, when they portray Africa and it's lions and everyone's hungry, I feel like sometimes when I read books about Black people, I feel the same way. And I feel like Angie tried so hard not to be like that with this book. It genuinely made me so happy. There were scenes that made me laugh. There were scenes that made me very sad. But at the same time, I finished the book and I was like, oh, there's hope. So definitely want to read this one. The book that I did not enjoy at all, like I enjoyed, it had potential, but at the same time, it's fake deep. To me, it's Where Wild Peaches Grow. I feel like the author, I don't know how to say her name, but it's C-A-D-E. I don't know. Yeah, her name, I Googled her. She looks pretty and stuff, but her book to me is a mixture, okay, well, to everyone, it's a mixture of the history of Mississippi and also just, I don't know, families growing apart and secrets pulling families apart. But also in the end, when you find out why Nona left home, it's just like, why would anyone leave home for that? You know what I mean? Or is she that immature? She's educated, for sure she should have seen Wuti. There was nothing much to leave home for. I don't know, it was just, for me, it was, what are we doing? It's very promising. And the siblings, they're fighting, they're holding grudges. Because you're expecting, when you're reading and it's building up, you're expecting that it's such a huge secret that is being held. But when you read about the secrets, it's just like, what? You can understand the aspect where the parents broke up and stuff, and the mom leaving the kids. So the one sister, I forgot her name. Yeah, maybe you can understand why she feels the way that she feels. Her sister left her, her mom left her. Okay, cool, we get that. But Nona, are we supposed to be like feeling sorry for her? What are we supposed to do with this book? Like, I was so frustrated when I read it because it's got potential. It's going to be a bomb. You know what I mean? But when you finally read the things because it leads up, you're leading up, you're like, yeah, we're getting there. We get there and like, oh, come on. And you could have just told me in the beginning. So I definitely think this book was written terribly. It's not a very terrible book, but she could have just given us very deep secrets, I guess, about why people left home and why people are not speaking to each other, because whatever this is doesn't make sense to us, to me as a reader. I wanted more. So yeah, this is a terrible one. The other 4 are amazing. This one I would give it a 2 out of 5 because it's you could read it and enjoy it, but what is the point? Is it about giving us the history of Mississippi, or is it about, I didn't learn anything. I learned about Mississippi a little bit more, when about peaches and their history there. So that part I learned. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I love you so much. Please recommend books. I need books to read this year. I want to read 30 books. How many are you reading? Bye guys.